All right, you are now tuned into the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Goose, and Heck. Holiday season 2022. In this episode, the crew talks about their holiday experiences. We cover topics that range from the holiday traditions, Christmas spirit, work celebrations, family time, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Calvin Coolidge and Brad Goreski. Guys, if you're new, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off, gentlemen, here we are.
Yo, what up? Happy holidays.
End of the year, 2022, basically. We're going to do a year-end review, as we always do, but this is kind of crazy to think that we're already here.
We're already done.
I know.
Absolutely.
Over. It's flown by.
Yeah.
Flew.
For sure. So when this airs, we will be in between Christmas and New Year, and so we titled this Holiday Season. And so, let's just rewind back and think what we've sort of commented in the past, but possibly things could have changed with, families growing and things like that. So we're going to go around the horn and we're going to talk about how you get in the holiday spirit. I'll start. For me, it's very basic. Music.
Yeah.
So right after... So, sort of building into Thanksgiving, like right after Halloween, building into Thanksgiving, I get heavy into Frank Sinatra, and like jazzy music leading right into Thanksgiving, and then after Thanksgiving, it's kind of Christmas songs or whatever, and then there's like a local radio station that does that, I think, right after Thanksgiving, or maybe Thanksgiving Day starts playing Christmas music, and that really gets me into the spirit, the fun, the excitement. Yeah. So that's how I get into the spirit. There's a bunch of other stuff, but I'll let you guys go, leave some, food for everyone else on the table. So, Gabe, what about you?
So, yes, it is kind of like along the line, too, because, like, one of my friends, like, right after Thanksgiving, it's kind of like, oh, that's when she starts decorating, so, like, I usually help her with that, and that's when... You have Alexa play the Christmas music and just kind of like decorate, add, throw stuff up on the tree and all that stuff, whatever. So it's like, it does kind of like start the Christmas season off. So
absolutely. Goose, what about you?
So for me, it's Thanksgiving, right? We have Thanksgiving. We do our family like feast. But here in Bristol, we do the day after Thanksgiving on Black Friday. They do the lighting of the tree here in Bristol Borough. And then that Saturday they have like the Christmas parade. So the lighting of the tree, I was kind of like, all right, we just had Thanksgiving the night before, and I invite everyone to the barber shop. We have hot chocolate. It's usually typically cold. So then we go downtown where the big, huge, 30, 40-foot tree is at, and soon as that day happens, it's like the transition. Thanksgiving and like the fall festivities are over. Now it's like winter. Now it's like Christmas. Yeah. So like that day is kind of like, for me, it's like the transition of like, all right, now it's Christmas. We got the lighting of the tree, and everyone comes. We start hanging out. And that's the music. Christmas music comes along. And then that next morning is like the Christmas parade here in Bristol Borough. So it kind of gets the spirit going. And that same weekend at home, we decorate our house. We do like the Christmas tree and stuff like that. So it's like that weekend is like huge. That's like the biggest transition weekend for us. And then for me at the barbershop, it's like where the madness begins. Like we get super busy. Kids come home from college. They have appointments, and it's like, and I get all these text messages, phone calls. Can you squeeze me in? Can I get it? We have family portraits with Santa. I need a haircut. I need this and that. So, like, honestly, it's transitioning to the holiday season is awesome, but at the same time, it's like the busiest time for me.
Sure.
So I'm like, I really this time of year I kind of spread myself thin. I try to be everywhere and do everything I can, but it's super busy. But like when this time is over, I'm like, dang, like. Then I'm bored. Like, then we slow down. We get back to normal. I'm like, dang, I kind of miss that busyness, that ruckus, all the everyone into the spirit. People spending money, or they're telling me what they're buying for their significant others, their family. So like, yeah, this is really like for the barbershop. It's a huge like transition in holiday spirit, conversations. It's like a lot goes on in the barbershop.
Yeah.
With that, and same thing with like at home with the family.
I love it. Heck, what about you? How do you get into the holiday spirit?
So I guess like everyone else says, the music right after Thanksgiving. I turn the radio on. The girls play their favorite song, their favorite Christmas song on Alexa, shout it out, and it starts playing.
Yeah.
And in the truck, I have the XM satellite, so I always have it on, I think it's called like Jolly Station or something like that, like Jolly Pop, and it's nothing but Christmas music, so it gets you in the mood. And the kids don't let you down. The little elf on the shelf comes down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then once they see the elf on the shelf, forget about it. They need to see the trees. They need to see the decorations. They need to help. They need to decorate. So this year, my wife asked me about the tree. And I said, I think I threw it out last year. And she goes, oh, okay. I was like, so I think we need to get a new one. She goes, oh. So she sends me out to the store with two of my daughters, Lainey and Nova. We go to Lowe's. We're looking around. I'm like, hey, send mommy this picture. Send her this video of the tree. See if she likes it. So we finally get the tree. And we get home. Bam, we start building it. And then, so we have two trees. So my wife goes upstairs to the attic and pulls down the other tree. Well, when she opens up the door, she's yelling for my name. She's like, heck, the other tree is still here. I was like, oh, I thought I threw it.
Oh my gosh.
It was because I wanted a new tree. That's all it was, because I was kind of old over the tree. So we have two trees. We have one tree that the kids decorate, and then we have the family tree, like in the tree in the living room, on like the actual one where Santa comes down and drops the gifts off it and stuff. Yeah. But it's like the kids, they don't let you down. Like,
yeah.
You once the elf on the shelf drops, again, you got to get creative. You got to start thinking of other things. Like last night, I'm sitting here looking. I'm like, where do these things go? I don't even know what to do with them anymore. Yeah. Like, but it's for the kids, so you got to get creative and just put them everywhere. So I put them inside like this truck, like they were driving or something. But yeah, I mean, and it's like last night we just built gingerbread house. Actually, it was a gingerbread row home. Never seen it before. It was a gingerbread row home. It was 3 houses put together, and they had 3 stoops. And I'm like, what in the world is going on here?
The gingerhood.
It was the gingerhood.
It was. It reminded me of. Oh my gosh! There was like
like the brownstones in Philly.
Like, yeah.
It reminded me of
it reminded me of a show. It was like a show growing up. Oh, Family Matters. Family Matters.
With the stoop out front.
Yeah, like it was just like that perfect. Yeah, it was a brownstone. It was like that. That classic.
It's exactly what it was.
Classic look.
And it was like they had the stoop, the house. Each house had its own little top, so the kids decorated it. Of course, Phoenix's side had just like scribble all over. I'm like, yeah, it's close enough.
So the thing that it's a great point, because the kids do really pull this all together with the holiday spirit thing, right? And so with us, James and Cade constantly, they want to watch a movie every night. They want to watch like a holiday movie, and so the problem is there's a lot that the TV offers, whatever. But they want to watch like the same 3 movies: Home Alone 1, 2, Elf. And it's like, all right, I love those movies. By far, probably my 3 top, and then you have the Santa Claus, which is up there too, right? With the Tim Allen, the first one, and so we have these like classic 4 movies. But after like the 10th time watching each one, I'm like, all right, we need to switch this bad boy up, And so then we start finding like, some of these Christmas movies that are either new or we've never seen before. So it's sort of hard to get into. So we still have those ones to go back on. But yeah, I mean, the same thing. It's pretty much the kids' excitement that is now my excitement. Now I'm looking at them. And we did the same thing. We didn't do gingerbread house this year. We wanted to switch it up. We did just the gingerbread figures. And of course, it comes with like red icing, white icing, and I think green. Or whatever. And somehow, we made them Eagles jerseys. It was just like somehow it had to get turned into sports. Awesome. It was just so awesome. And then I know Goose's wife had like a little cookie exchange things with her girlfriends, and like we kind of made it like our thing. So we made cookies with the boys.
Oh, okay.
And they had fun with it, just having them like help decorate.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty much what it was. I mean, you know, mixing the batter or whatever it was, and then having them help decorate was sort of the whole thing. And then listening to their list of stuff. So we have like a little mailbox, like a little Santa mailbox in our house. And so every other day they're writing or drawing something. Like, oh yeah, and I need this, and then slip it inside the mailbox.
Yeah,
So funny.
that's funny. So Nova, the other day, she's like, Dad, how do I get notes on my phone? And I'm like, notes? She's like, yeah, I got to write my Christmas list. I'm like, you realize there's only 7 days left till Christmas.
Yeah.
I was like, it's kind of too late for that. Like, and plus you already gave it to Mommy. She's like, yeah, but I need other stuff on there. And I'm like, Nova, Santa Claus more than likely is not going to be able to pull that one off. And she's like, are you serious? So it kind of broke my heart. And I'm like, okay, here's your notes. Write it down. Like
Next time, give a little more time for shipping and handling.
Oh my goodness, these kids.
So the funny part was somebody was talking about so growing up in our family, like my mom and dad, same thing. Right after Thanksgiving, that Thursday, Friday, it was decorate the entire house with Christmas stuff.
Yep.
I mean, like it's just what we did.
Yep.
And so I remember we had Thanksgiving at my mom's this year, and for whatever reason, I just popped up early as anything the following day. So, I'm talking about like 5 o'clock in the morning. So 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm out front taking down scarecrows, hay bales, all this other decoration.
All the fall stuff.
Yeah, I was up, and I'm like, you know what? Everyone's sleeping, whatever. And it's that transition because now in my mind, I'm already at Christmas because I think we came home and already was watching like a Christmas movie after Thanksgiving or whatever. And so I spent like all morning, dude. By the time it was like 8 o'clock, I was done inside and outside. And then, you know, the kids start, you know, trickling down. Dad, what happened? You know, like looking around. I was like, what is going on? It's like so clean in here. Anyway, and then Saturday, so that was it. I was clocked out for the day. I'm like, all right, that was good for one day. We kind of enjoyed. We had like a friend visit us, had fun that day. Then Saturday, it was all decorate day. So we decorated the entire house on that Saturday.
Yeah.
And I think that Sunday, or maybe it was the following Sunday. I think it was that. You know, it was that Sunday. We then got the tree. So we and if I didn't do any of that in that order, we couldn't have, because all the weekends after that, we were double booked for everything. It was like, there's no other time we're gonna get a tree. There's no other time. And to be honest with you, that was probably the best thing we did because it got the entire house in the holiday spirit. And now instead of playing, you know, the Frank Sinatra for dinner, I was like, Alexa, play Christmas music or holiday music. I think it's Christmas music. One of them doesn't play what we want. I think it's, if you say Christmas music, it plays what you want. Yeah. If you say holiday music, it plays like random things. But anyway, so at dinner, and then now James like rolls his eyes like, I know you're gonna say holiday. Well, I'm like, all right, we're still, you know,
still celebrating. Come on, it didn't happen yet. We're getting there.
All right. So, Goose, you talked about, and I'll get into my thing. You talked about the tree lighting. Is there any other holiday traditions that you all do for Christmas or the New Year?
Well, traditionally, yeah. It's like I said, I'm involved with the town, so obviously with the barbershop stuff, I'm involved. I try to get everyone involved with the town, family, and everything. And then we do our personal stuff at home. We put the trees together. We have Ava comes over that like she's with us that weekend. We put the tree together, yeah, like you said earlier. So Ava and Lauren usually bake cookies. Like they don't do the gingerbread thing. They just kind of like bake cookies, and they like, I think it was like 2 years ago. They kind of almost had like within themselves a little bake off. Like Ava made her cookies, and Lauren's like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and it was like, oh, who? And now of course I'm stuck in the middle. I'm the judge. Whose is better?
That's
Whose
a
cookie's
great
better?
thing to be stuck in the middle.
I'm like, oh,
eating
Jesus.
cookies, really?
I'm like, yeah, but yeah. So then that's when Lauren kind of was like, oh, let me do this little thing with my girlfriends and make it a bake off. So this is the first year she did it with all her friends, and but like as far as like traditional stuff, I think I'm just pretty basic like everyone else. That weekend after Thanksgiving, we just turn it on. It's Christmas mood.
Yeah.
It's just Christmas mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like, I'm not too big into like going to the stores on Black Friday, or I'm at work like Cyber Monday. I don't follow those trends. I don't like. I go shopping when I can. I just do it as I go. I mean, I just do it as I have time for it. You know what I mean? And I'm not like a online shopper. Like I do it, but like I'm more of like a touch and feel. Like I'd rather go to the store and like grab a pair of sneakers. I'm like, yeah, these are cool. Or grab like a shirt or sweater or something. If I'm buying a gift for someone, like, I'm more of a touch and feel. Unless they tell me like, yo, unless someone tells me like, oh, this is exactly what I want. This is the size. I know it. Blah blah, blah whatever. But like,
yeah.
I mean, that's it. Like really, as far as I don't really have too many traditions.
Yeah. I think for us, one of the things, oh my gosh. So this started like a year after me and Kel got married. So our first year at the house, we didn't celebrate because we were just working on the house. We didn't celebrate Christmas at the actual house. We weren't living there till January that following year. So the first year, though, she wanted to go, and she was very pregnant with James. So mind you, it's whatever December, top of the season, and she had James in January. So you could imagine she's already ready to rock and roll. So she keeps mentioning, growing up for her, they always had a real tree. Now, whether someone chopped it down or they got it from like the corner, it was still a real tree.
Sure.
So I'm like, all right. And then for us, it was the opposite. We've always had artificial trees growing up. We had the artificial trees, though, that you built, and then you still had to put the lights on it. It wasn't like pre-lit or anything like that. So you're still doing something. There was still some level of like tradition. It wasn't like pop up like an umbrella and just let it go and put like a little skirt around it. But so we chop. So I've never chopped a tree down before. Now we're talking nearly a decade ago, and it was a horrible experience for me. But it was funny at the same time. Like, I was just, the guys that we were with were laughing at me, whatever. They were outdoorsmen. I wasn't. It was the first time I'm doing it. They've done it already for, like, a decade. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so funny. And now it became like that. I felt like I was, if you think about, like, Al Bundy, like, he was just, like, grumpy, like, oh. But at the same time, he, like, secretly loved it. That was me for, like, many years in a row. And then to the point where, like, now I'm looking for the tree farm, and then like, oh, let's do it. But to be honest with you, it's not me. It's not necessarily like I want to sit there because the whole family has to decide and give the thumbs up on the tree. Yeah, that part is that's fun, and the chopping down is also fun, like whatever. But it's more of like listen to the dialect of the boys, like the funny things, and random things that they're saying. Yeah. They're laughing at the little tiny trees. They think people are really going to come and get, they're just starting, that year. So that has really turned into like something that I wasn't like all super excited about. I think it's more though because of the boys, and they, that we now have our, tradition. They pull the chop down tree with the wagon. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, no, so going back on what I was saying, so it just clicked into my head. So traditionally we go to it's called Peddler's Village. It's like a little village, small town. So think about like, people have their Christmas trees and they have like their little fake like little villages underneath your Christmas tree, and you would put like, that's what, no lie, Peddler's Village is like a live version of that. Like it's like a small like little village of stores, and like, and there's like they do it all up with like every single tree like in the little village is like lit up, and it's awesome.
They have gingerbread contests.
Yeah, they have like gingerbread contests, gingerbread house contests. They have all kinds of things going on.
There's restaurants all there. It's nice.
Yeah, a bunch of stores so you can go shopping. And I just remember like, I don't know, being like a teenager, I think I was like early teens. I remember my dad first time taking us there. He's like, oh, we're going to Peddler's Village. And I'm like, I don't want to go there. I didn't know what it was. I'm like, no, I don't want to go there. That's like, sounds dumb, sounds boring, whatever. And then he took us there. I'm like, all right, that is cool. And then he did it every year, whatever. Like we kind of did like a little yearly thing about with it. So then I'm like, I kind of start to like, as I got older, I started to appreciate it more. Yeah. And then, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make this my thing with my daughter, like me and Ave. So, like, every year we actually go, we do, I make it 2 times a year. So, in October for Halloween, they have, like, a scarecrow fest kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So, they have, like, people build scarecrows and they, like, whatever. So, we go in October, then we go in December. And then, so we literally just went this past weekend there. And, Abe loves it. She goes. She knows we're gonna go there, so she saves up a couple dollars. There's little stores at boutiques that she likes, so we go there. She does her Christmas shopping, and yeah, like so far, Abe is 15, so I've been doing it every year since she was born. We go there around Christmas time. Sometimes it's been like nasty cold, or freezing, or it's been like the weather's been nice and it's like overly packed. You can't even walk in the store. You can't even like do anything. You just walk around like the outside.
There's like a section though. There's like a section that has like hot apple cider and then hot chocolate.
Yes.
They've really set it up. And then there's music playing in the background. If not, like carolers out there. It feels like you're in a movie.
Yes.
Like a movie scene of some sort, depending on obviously what day and what time of day you go. It's a pretty cool setup.
Yeah, no.
It's one of those things, like, it's a night and day difference. Like, you go during the day, you don't get the same vibe, and then at nighttime with all the lights, it's like, it gives you, like, the whole spirit is there. Like, you feel it, like you're...
Yeah, and I want to say there's a store that's a Christmas store that's there all year round,
yes,
too.
Yeah.
So, like...
They have ornaments, they have all kinds of stuff. You can get custom
so they're
stuff made
always
there.
in the mood, ready to rock and roll. But so to that point with the contest thing, so the gingerbread contest, and people take this very serious. It gets judged and everything. And then there's winners. They win, I don't know, like gift cards and stuff to the restaurants around the way. For the Oktoberfest one, they even have a scarecrow contest. So it's literally the same thing. So, but they're so creative with bringing people to that attraction with things like that, and we're gonna have X, Y, and Z. You know, the carolers here or whatnot.
Yeah. So and then they have like great restaurants. So like the past few years, we actually made reservations, had dinner, and then we just walked around town. Like it's pretty cool. So like we're talking about like the traditions, get into the spirit. Those are one of the traditions. I honestly forgot because we just do it automatically. Like I forgot that's like almost a tradition now. It's just like something we just do. Yeah.
So what about the stress that the holiday season can bring on? So let's talk a little bit about that.
I mean, the stress, it gets hectic. So my house is crazy nonstop, and the kids always asking Santa for this, that, and everything. So of course, you know, in my house, it's one place is in order, and then the other one goes to pick it up because they're running out to go pick up other stuff. So it's like, all right, you got to stop here, you got to stop there, you got to stop there. And like, what in the heck? It's like, you literally spend half of a day or half of an evening stopping at stores and waiting for pickup or going to the store to pick up because it is what it is. And then trying to go into the store to figure out the specifics of what they want. And then you can't find it or you can't get it or they're out of stock or they have one but it's broken. And it's just like turns into disaster. Well, are they going to like this other one instead? Like try to swap it out for something else. And it's like, I don't know. And it just gets overwhelmed. And then when it comes to wrapping, my wife likes to keep the numbers the same so that every child has the same amount of gifts. Yeah. Well, I mean, this year it already gets out of hand. This year we wrapped up Phoenix's stuff and he's like 18 and the girls are at like 9.
Yeah.
So it's like she tries to keep up with this and like we're done with him and now we got to go on to the other 4 girls.
That's good, but that's tough because you can get one kid like with a very expensive item,
right?
And it could be small.
Yeah.
Right.
Your daughter wants a necklace or something, and that's a couple $100.
So
and then you have like one of the kids who Phoenix, for example, wants a rubber dinosaur.
Right, and that's like exactly the story. So Phoenix has like a bunch of dinosaur crap and like all his stuff that he wants, and then our oldest wants an iPad. So obviously that's not a $2.99 gift. You know what I mean? It's like a little more expensive. So we got her that and some other clothes and sneakers that she's wanted. So she's probably gonna unwrap maybe like 5 to 6 gifts compared to Phoenix opening 18 to 20. You know what I mean? So
right.
I mean, but
at the same time, she's
older she
teenager,
understands.
So like those gifts, she doesn't want to. She probably doesn't want to open 25 gifts.
No,
anyway,
at all. Absolutely,
all those are
meaningful. But your 3-4-year-old, he's gonna be like just going bananas. He loves it,
He might even throw the gift in the air, not even realizing it's the thing. I don't know. But yeah, so it's super stressful at our house, and
you have a spread too, because you have like again a teenager all the way down to what, 3-year-old? Yeah.
So it's a variety of stuff that are in the house, and then we host every year. We host for the past 3, just going on our 4th year, Christmas Eve. So we learned our lesson the first year. We said no more wrapping gifts at Christmas Eve, because that's what we did the first year. After everyone left, we're like, this really stinks. Up to like 3 o'clock in the morning wrapping gifts. So then the year after that, we learned our lesson. We started early. We still failed. This year, we definitely started early. And we're definitely going to that red failure mark. So, it sucks. And it's very, very stressful because the kids don't go to bed. They're hanging out. And it's like, I try to do, and again, I failed today. I was wrapping gifts on the table. I went to go pick up a gift for my wife. She told me to pick up. Well, she sees half her gifts because she didn't tell me she was coming home early. So she sees all her gifts on the kitchen table as I was wrapping them. But I had to step out for her. So it's just disaster.
That was a trap.
Yeah. So for like the stress for, I would say for me, like in all seriousness, it's really like the busyness of it all. Between, just what, work and everything that comes with that, what you have to do there, and then just after work and doing, James is now, this year is a little bit different because now in the winter he's doing a sport, so he's playing basketball. So basketball practice is till like 7:30 at night. By the time you get home, it's at 8. And, and I was just telling the guys, poor James was sick for his, they had like a little Santa's workshop thing at school, and the day it was for his class, he was sick, so he missed it. So I'm like, all right. And we had, you sent him with a little envelope, and you basically say what to spend on each person of the family. So he got into it because he was trying to understand money. We're teaching him these things, and he couldn't really perform to what all this. We basically hyped him up about it, and then he couldn't do it. So late night, right after basketball, of course, I'm like, all right. Took him to the stores to still kind of do his thing with that, and I think that really satisfied it. It wasn't the same, of course, because he's not there doing it with his buddies. But yeah, I think it's, and then you go like every weekend, like we have from birthday parties to holiday parties, trips thrown in there, and it's just like, oh my gosh! And then all of a sudden you look up and here you are. It's there. It's like staring at you in the face. Oh, dude, we're like 2 days away.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my goodness, we didn't finish shopping for something. We didn't start for another. It's like, goodness.
Yeah, no. So like with my hectic schedule at work, I've been getting to the barbershop at 8:30 in the morning, leaving here at 8:30 at night. So I'm like, dang. So thank God for these stores that are closing at 11 o'clock. I mean, I feel for the employees, but they close at 11 o'clock because I was able to, even yesterday, I left work, went home, had some dinner, and I was able to run to the store and do my shop, do stuff that I had to get done, and doing those. And there's not many stores right now because before the pandemic, all of them they stayed late. Now after the pandemic, there's only a few stores that open late. They're open till 11. Yeah. Most stores close at 9, 10 o'clock, even after Black Friday. Usually they used to stay open late or whatever. Yep. So those stores that stay open late, they're helping me out. People like me, they work all dang day, and last night, I was able to get some shopping done, some stuff done. But this time of year, it's bananas. It's just.
Gabe, what about you, Gabe? What about you? What's the hecticness for you?
Well, no, it's I don't my family doesn't really do too much holiday stuff, so it's that's always been low key anyway, and more in the recent past is we do stuff for work and stuff too. So for me, it's never been anything crazy. It's we do minor stuff, and I try to for gift wise try to get stuff early enough and order online and all that stuff. Whatever. So it's try to get it out of the way.
So basically, Gabe's smart about it.
Yeah.
I try to be as pragmatic about it as possible. Because getting right now to the wire is you're making sure Amazon's telling you if it's going to arrive before Christmas.
Oh yeah, gosh, and it's a deal breaker. It is.
Sure is.
There's you have to make sure you hit Prime only results, and then whatever, and then you're going through that, and it's and they know you're hitting Prime only, so I feel there's a little bit of there might be. I'm not saying price gouging, but there might be an increase.
Yeah.
And some of these things, I'm dude, I definitely looked at the
stuff that's going to come with time is going to cost you more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I guess you do pay the premium for that.
Even with that, so going back to the barbershop, the guys the guys that work here, they're they're not at home. They don't live close to town, so they get everything delivered to the barbershop because they know they're here all day. Yo, Amazon is in and out of this door. The FedEx is in and out of this door. The shop door.
It makes sense.
Yo, right? So it's like they get it in hand. It's not sitting at their doorstep all day long, so they get it delivered to the barbershop. Makes sense. But you can see the crunch time. It like the past few days, that door is open and closing. There's pile of boxes. None of it's mine. It's theirs, but like there's piles of boxes and stuff. Which is like smart, but they're like you just said, make sure they're getting this stuff done. Yeah.
So speaking of so Amazon, FedEx, and UPS. Yeah. If you walk at our house, there's nothing but boxes stacked up with that. Yeah. So the one day Danica noticed, she's like, "Dad, why is FedEx here all the time?" I'm like, is any of it yours, Dad? And I'm like, Danica, none of it is mine. She's like, wow. Mommy buys a lot, and I'm like, yeah, you have no idea what's going on here.
I mean, to say that, I also want to give flip side of that, where there was in the past, I used to get wildly stressed out with this stuff, right? Like, put unrealistic expectations on the holiday season, and to be honest with you, to some extent, ruined holidays for myself. It's no one else's fault; it's my fault. But because I was so stressed out and put so much on my own plate, I didn't even enjoy it. Like, it just came and went, and it was just like, unfortunately, I'm glad it's over. And that was my thought after that. And I'm like, and I remember thinking how sad, and I put myself in that, and I played into the society demands, right? Or the society influences. Well, you have to get this bomb gift for X, Y, and Z people, and you have to spend this much, and I caught myself feeding into that, and so I don't think that that's healthy. I don't think that's good at all. And once I step back and maintain, and like, all right, this is these are some certain things that I celebrate, but I'm also going to keep a budget for it. Yeah, and I'm not going to go wild and crazy and feed into the other nonsense. And people get into like thousands of dollars of credit card debt every holiday season, and then basically put themselves at a not a good start for the brand new year. Yeah, and it's like you don't want to do that, right? I mean, obviously you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But like I put myself in a jam and I learned my lesson. I guess what I'm just trying to say is like, do the best you can to not
get yourself in debt.
No, just and then not that's like a given. That should be a given. Yeah, sure. But what I'm saying is like, even if you saved up all the money, like even if let's just say you're gonna spend $5,000, right, on a holiday season, or $500 or $50, it doesn't matter. Just say you came up with the $50 and you spend it. My whole thing is like, okay, you came up with a strategy to save up the $50. Now also spend it with that same strategies. Don't like wait till like the night before that holiday. So like then I got to a point where the money wasn't the issue, it was the timing thing. So I'm like, oh my gosh, now I offset it. Now I focus so much on saving all this money, and now it's like 2 days before the thing. Now I'm still stressed out because I don't have anything.
Now you're rushing to get
and now I'm just getting anything for people because I'm just wanting to get this over with. Again, I ruined it for myself. That was my fault. So now it's like, again, life happens. I get it. I'm just saying, if it's possible, don't feed into like the demands of what everyone else is doing. Stay focused. Stay within your own world. Stay within your own limitations, and enjoy the process, because that honestly is what keeps me in the spirit. If I'm all stressed out, running around, blah blah blah, look, stress is always going to be there. Sure. The demand of what I do is going to always be there under highly stressful I guess circumstances at all times. So you have to be able to manage that. Yeah. And if you can manage that appropriately and appropriate your emotions the correct way, you will enjoy it, regardless of budget or whatever.
No, it's funny that you bring that up. So like for the barber industry, January, February are like our slowest months of the whole year. Like we drop bottom. Like so like if we want to go on vacation, that's the time for us to do it, for us or whatever. But like now it makes sense. Like everyone just puts themselves, not everyone, a lot of people kind of put themselves in debt or whatever for the holiday season. So like, all right, haircut. I'm not getting it every 2 weeks. I'm gonna get it once a month now. They cut
Sure.
certain things, and there's nothing going on in January or
Yeah.
February, so they cut it out. And like, cause like seriously, we definitely like go downhill. But like Jim just said, it that could be one of the reasons. Like everyone just kind of like.
I think it all
Everyone
plays
just
in.
dumps every penny and they have into this holiday. Like,
Then all the
and,
amenities
you know,
go
and,
out the
and
window.
you know what's so
Yeah.
funny? What's crazy? Like my mom, us growing up, we had like a Christmas fund, like at the bank. Like there was
Yeah,
a Christmas
classic.
fund. Yeah, so she was like, "Yo, here, open this account up, put $20 a week, put $20 every 2 weeks." And then, like, I think it's like the beginning of November or something like that. They cut you out a check of what you deposited into the savings.
That was a type of
Yeah,
bank
it was-
account,
it was
wasn't
a-
it?
Yes,
Holiday
yeah, it
account?
was called, yeah, it was
The holiday
account or
savings.
something.
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
the holiday
Holiday
savings.
Well, I think my bank, I think, still does it.
Yeah,
which is
so
crazy.
dude, my mom taught us that, like, well, taught me that when I was like 18
Yeah.
years old. I remember having like a nice job, 18 years old, financed my first car, and she's like, "Yeah, you got to do this, do this, this." I'm like, "Yo," and I just realized, I'm like, "Hold on, I got a car payment, I got insurance, I got a Christmas fund, I got this, I'm help giving my parents a couple dollars." I'm like, "Yo, I only got like $50 for the rest of the week, and that's gas and food, like lunch money."
Sure.
But those are lessons learned. Obviously,
Yeah.
it pays off. But yeah. Anyway, so there are some like financial things for every freaking holiday for like to help people out. Some people just
Yeah.
like, oh, they don't want to save money. They just want to use a credit card and just boom, 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 swipe, swipe, swipe. Oh, I'll deal with it later.
But then you're paying.
And then comes like you said,
$1,000
and no, and
later on.
here's this is what cracks me up is like January, February comes, everyone's like the income tax thing. Like, oh yeah, November, December they're spending money.
That's the recoup for the
hoping
Christmas.
that they're gonna get a decent income tax check so they can like pay that off and like
Recoup it.
it's
That's
like
what I'm saying. You start start the brand new year, behind the ball, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then that now you're extending the stress.
yeah,
Right.
yes,
So I mean that's a good idea. I do that without the bank, but you basically just put a couple,
Yeah,
put some
exactly,
change to the
yes,
side.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so that you're not all jammed up in the end of the year. And obviously, guys, believe me, been there. Broke as a joke.
yeah.
Friggin' scraping together things. Letting things go. Not I mean, done it all. Believe me, I get it. I'm.
I remember like I think I told Jim like last week. Dude, I remember like, I gotta buy Christmas gifts, do this and this. So like all my bills for the month of December, I kind of pushed them off, right? And then I pay them off at the end of the month. Like 3 days later, it's January 1st, and all the bills came back. I'm like, oh my gosh! So it's almost like I paid double within 2 weeks of bills because I was like, and I'm paying like the late fees. I'm doing this just so I can satisfy Christmas. I'm like,
Yeah.
why the hell did I do that?
Yeah.
Like, make no sense. But
you get jammed up. But that's
you
awesome.
learn, you live
lesson
and learn,
learned, right? You
learn,
don't do
yeah,
that now.
Yeah.
It's so
You
funny.
just don't pay the bills.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, so let's talk a little bit about like maybe lists, like Christmas list. And right now, I don't have a Christmas list. I don't, but maybe about like the kids, or maybe when you were a kid, or whatever. Some of the things, and I'll start with me and because I have two sons. I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. Cade, my 4-year-old, doesn't make a list. He just basically he's at the age where every commercial that comes on,
Oh,
it's a toy
on
commercial.
TV?
Oh, that's what I want. That's exactly what I
Mumbles.
want. You know what
Sure.
I mean? It could be something he's not interested at all in, but because it's a toy,
But still sees it.
he
Why?
just whatever. And I think my wife may have sat down with him, obviously while I was at work, and did like a little list or something for him.
Kind of like weed out all the
Yeah,
extra
well, it was
stuff.
more for her. It was more like to get him to write, more than anything. And then James, my 8-year-old, is more, he has like a very thorough list, and it's funny seeing, and even at that age, at 8 years old, very big difference as to what he's asking for.
Sure.
We're not huge gamers, but as soon as something electronic comes up on a list, if you're gonna get if that's in the budget, whatever you're gonna get, that more than likely that's gonna eat up a good portion of whatever you're gonna spend,
Yeah.
None of that
because
stuff is cheap, so.
electronics is not cheap. But just looking at his list, and then kind of the same thing you're talking about, one of your daughters wanting to add stuff. James' list just kept going, but then we kind of like cut him off. Like, all right, you got like the month of November to put this all together. So it's pretty cool, but it's actually fun. They're at my kids anywhere at a fun age, and I think what's dope about both of them, like, so far, so what that day comes and everything they're just happy. They're just, and like that's what I just like see their eyes light up, like the list, everything. Everything's gone in my mind anyway for me, and I'm just watching
whether
them.
You got anything on that list or not. Like they're still appreciative.
And you're just watching everything. He's like, yeah, I got it. Dude, it'd be like a box of 8 crayons. And he's pumped. You know what I mean? And it's just, I think it's just like the motion of unwrapping something and whatever. And it was a gift for you. You know what I mean?
That goes like they're like your boys are emotional kids, right? Yeah. So they're like and that's how me, Jim, and Heck, that's how we're emotional. We watch football, we watch basketball. We're like, we go crazy. So and that's how they are. So they get a present, they get a gift, and it's like, this is what it was on my list. It wasn't, but like they just kind of like show appreciation. They kind of go like they go bananas. Like, dude. But like Ava, she's low key. My daughter is like very like her temperament is low and just chill. Yeah. So like I'm like, Ave, can you send me your Christmas list? She's like, all right, sure. Like 2 hours later, I get a text message.
Like 2 things.
No. It's like a bunch of stuff, but it's like it's
a hat.
No, it's like it's the link with the size, like straight to the everything's all linked. So it's awesome. Like
that's awesome. Onto that's it, what you want.
A store, boom, 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 and it's there. I'm like, all I really have to do is just like order online.
Just hit check out.
Yes, dude. It's, right. Hold on, but here's the thing. So
add to cart.
So Lauren, my wife, texted her the same thing. It was like, yo, what do you want? So we were thinking like, so Ava doesn't live with me full time. She lives with her mother, and then she comes with us on the weekends. So Lauren was like, said the same thing. I didn't know Lauren texted her. It was like, yo, can you send me your Christmas list? So Lauren's like, she gets a Christmas list. Lauren's shopping for Ava. I'm shopping for Ava, right? The one day we sit down and we're talking about what we got Ava, and it's all different things. I'm like, Lauren, let me see your Christmas list. Dude, Ava had like a list for me, like 10 things deep, and it was a totally different Christmas list from my wife. It's coming from the same family. She gave her a totally 10, 13, 14 different things too.
Played it right.
Yeah, I'm like, right. No, are you kidding me? Like we're doing this together, and she gave us 2 separate lists of different things.
She wants different. Like, she wants 10 from each.
Yo, I'm like, dude, this is the chick I want to run my business. Like, she's gonna freaking like maneuver all kinds of stuff and like manipulate like decisions. But it's so like I said, she's 15. She's gonna be 16, and like, it's not, you don't write it on a piece of paper anymore. It's like I get a text message, and it's a link, and it's like ready to go, and like which it helps, but I'm like, it still blows my mind.
Yeah. I mean, even the Amazon thing, like you like wish list and all that too. Like you can, there's I don't know if you know, there's an extension like on a Chrome or something. You can add links for everything.
Dude,
you can just have like, I want this whole site, and just make a whole Amazon list of wherever website you want.
Dude, my parents asked us for a Christmas list. I had a piece of paper, it was crayon. Then I had like the Toys R Us, the Toys R Us like magazine. It was like 4 feet thick. Yo, it was like 4 feet
like a phone
thick.
Book.
And I had a bunch of shit circled. Like a bunch of
every
stuff,
single page is
bunch of stuff circled. I'm like, this is what
I tried that because shout out to Target. They tried.
They tried because we did the same thing.
It's actually a good sized thing, but it's almost like a disaster because it gives us an idea. It's a disaster. Let me rephrase all of this. It's a disaster for me and my family because, especially the little one, he circles everything.
Yes.
So it's like this.
The entire
that was me.
And it was just like, dude, that's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
So every day, even though he's like, well, it was on page like whatever 42. Well,
he memorized the whole book.
It was like today I circled page 42. Yesterday I was circling stuff on page 75.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, that's not how
all over the place.
Yeah, it's like he thinks every day he's adding things. Yeah. Whatever. That's him adding.
Yeah.
Things. Again, we're talking about a 4-year-old.
So we got the same thing too, and mind you, I have 5 kids. My older 2, 17 and 12-year-old, kind of they don't really care for that stuff. But the 8-year-old, the 7-year-old, and the 3-year-old, forget about it. The magazine looked like a coloring book by the time we looked at it. It was colored everywhere. Yeah. All you saw was a D for Danica, an N for Nova, and a P for Phoenix. So somebody was writing a P for Phoenix because he's 3, so he's like he's still trying to
pointing
figure
at
it out.
things,
Yeah. So he's pointing. So I think Nova was like writing a P down for, and it was just like, and then next, he has the book and he's got the pen. He's just coloring Optimus Prime's face in. And I'm like, dude, this is not what you're supposed to be doing with this thing. Like, I literally got it and trashed it.
Yeah, it wasn't helpful at all.
I trashed it. I was
wasn't
like,
helpful
nah.
for us either.
So on another note, the whole Amazon thing, my wife, he gives access to Lainey
To add like
to Amazon Prime to add
gosh.
stuff. So now Jess is shopping and buying stuff, and Lainey goes, "Dad, mommy got this." I'm like, "How do you know?"
Oh, so she's watching the wish list.
Oh, because I went onto the shopping cart and I saw the mommy. I'm like, Lane, you're not supposed to be doing this. This is why I didn't give you access.
That's
to
you.
my-
That was you growing up, looking inside the closets and stuff.
Yeah,
see
yeah,
what
finding
this-
my-
that's the modern version of
Yeah,
that.
the
Yeah,
modern
that
version.
is.
Yo,
But
Mikey,
yeah, she's-
Mikey got a keyboard. How do you know? I saw it in mommy's closet.
Yo, that really happened, dude. That's hilarious. Yo,
I
I'm telling you, no, that was heck though.
No, I can't wait to
Mad
play
snooping
Sega. What do you mean you
around.
can't wait to play Sega? Because I saw it in mommy's closet. Damn, I can't wait to
My
play
man was straight
Sonic.
ruining things.
I went down the basement behind the wash machine.
What in the world?
Yep, I found everything. Y'all Snoopy. So the one year,
Snoopy.
I remember I was always snooping. So the one year I went shopping with my mom and dad. It was Christmas time. Jim was at, I think, at Manny's house or something. Goose was at like basketball practice, and I was just like hanging at home. I could have gone hang out with my friends, but I was like, Mom and Pop are gonna go Christmas shopping. I'm gonna go with them. Yo, they picked everything out for them too, but I got nothing when I was like, yeah, this is not what was supposed to happen. And so then she would ask me what I wanted and stuff like that, and it was like that year I got like very minimal stuff, and I looked at her and I was like, what happened? She's like,
Salty.
you were with
whatever.
us every time we went shopping. And I'm like, I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
Never do that again.
You can go shopping and buy yourselves all the
Nah,
time
but then
now.
she came down with like the Sega or something, didn't she?
She came down with,
It
no,
was
she did
like-
come down with something else.
it was like it was
I'll
something
say
big,
something else,
too.
yeah.
But you got played. You played
I
yourself.
definitely got played on that one.
It's too funny.
All right. So what about your significant other? Do you guys exchange lists, or at least not list? You know what I mean, like ideas, like, or help with ideas. So I'll start again because that's sort of the way we've been going. But for me, I'm all year. So first of all, if I want something, not that every single thing I want I just go and get, but like I pretty much can just manage that, right? There's certain things there's like, I'll just leave that. There's no urgency to it. If I get it as a gift, awesome. If I don't, eventually I'll
Awesome.
grab it. It's
Either way, it's
it really is. Because I'm dead serious. Now I know how my dad feels.
Oh
Like,
my
it was
gosh.
really about the kids. It really was about the kids, the wife. Let them do. And that's I'm literally looking forward to watching them
Yeah.
like do all this. I couldn't care less. Like I really couldn't. I'm like, it's dope. You know what? I want something like handmade by the kids, something that you made at school with like glue and stuff. That's what I want.
Heck yeah,
That's
buttons.
literally what I want.
A macaroni.
Like a little macaroni
Macaroni
hair
snowman.
and stuff. Yeah. But and my wife will say this exact same thing. I'm very good with being vocal, like sharing what I want, because she's always asking.
Yeah.
So like, oh, that'd be dope to have X, Y, and Z, or I like that hat. And dude, I'm keeping it simple.
Right.
Her, it's the opposite. Like,
She'll tell you-
it's like, oh
she'll tell
my
you nothing.
gosh, dude. Like, I will get her basically what she wants, but she won't tell me. She doesn't know. So I'm like, it's like so hard. And then like it gets down to like the bottom, like week or two. I'm like, I need to know something. Like,
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I know my wife enough to know certain things to get her on my own or whatever.
That's right, right.
But I just want to make sure it's like what you want. And if that's
Sure.
fine, like if you don't care, then I'll just do it, because
Yeah, whatever.
I know certain things. I'm watching you. I'm hearing your conversation. I'm taking note of things
Yeah.
too. I just, to be sure. Is there anything more important than anything else? So that's kind of like the thing. We still end up, she's appreciative of whatever, she gets too. But it's just funny. But we don't have like lists that we
Yeah.
exchange to each other or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with me, my wife asked me, she's like, do you want anything? And I'm like, not really. And I was just, yeah, and I'm like,
Not what do you want?
do you want anything? Or like, what is it that you really want or whatever? And I'm like, and I'm just being sarcastic. I'm like, just give me like t-shirts, underwear, and socks and stuff like that. And I'm like being specific
Basic
with,
stuff.
with whatever. But in reality, again, like Jim says, I go out and get whatever I want when I want it. Like,
Sure.
not like he says, not like, oh, I'm just gonna go out tomorrow and just buy this. I'll save up, review about it, look at it, look into it, and think about it. And then
strategically,
once the time comes, then it's like, bam, all right, I'll get it.
Yeah, you do enough research to get something that you need.
Right, and then make sure that it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Financially, not just like, oh, let me blow half the mortgage on this over here. Yeah. But with her, it's like she never knows. It's kind of like what Jim's saying about his wife. Like they don't know what they want, but they do. But they kind of want to see if you know what to get them. Like I know what to get. Like Jess, like there's always those few things that I can always get her, and I know she's appreciative. Her and I have different styles on sneakers, so I always try to pick
goodness!
I try to pick.
So to me and Kel, not only just sneakers, our styles are wildly different. So I feel your pain on this one.
Yeah, so like I try to I'm a Vans guy to heart all the way through. I can wear any color Vans and I'm satisfied. With her, she's got to have, like last year, I remember I got her these New Balances, and it was a toss up between these. There were black and gray New Balances or the New Balances with leopard on the back heel part. And I'm like, she's so wild that I know she's going to love the ones with the leopard. Like, just off. And when she got them, she loved them. And I would have gone with the gray ones. But I know how she is. So, like, this year, I'm trying to figure out sneakers. And I'm like, she showed me one night, and I couldn't remember what sneakers they were. I knew they were Nikes.
This dude was texting me.
To the point where
do you remember? I'm like, dude, no, I don't.
Because she showed Jim, and Jim was like, yo, I like them. They're hot. They're dope. Like, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I remember because I asked Bella, my oldest daughter, and I was like, Bella, do you know what sneakers Mommy wanted? She's like, no. I was like, I think Jim knows. She's like, well, ask him. So I was like, all right. He's like, man, I do not remember what the heck she sent me.
No, and I'm typically good with that stuff. For some reason, I just drew a blank.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
So I bought her these sneakers, bought her a pair of Nikes, thinking they're the ones I think she would like because they're like kind of her, like little. So then my daughter comes up and she's like, Mommy wants these Adidas, and they're tan.
Like something totally different.
They're tan. They're tan. She's always asking for something or looking for something with color, with wildness. They're
randomly
tan.
She wants tan.
Tan Adidas.
That's it, man. Neutral colors.
And I was like, are you kidding me? So what do? I just bought them anyway. So now on Christmas, she gets to open 2 pairs of sneakers.
Yeah.
And if she wants them both, she can have them both. If not, she can return them by whatever she wants. But that's me just going on the win.
Yeah.
But again, like Bath and Body Works, I can always get her lotions and stuff like that. And she trusts my scent, like the scents that I like, because I don't like repeating the same scent over and over again. So I always try to look for like the new ones. So I get her like that stuff and like an outfit and stuff like that. But I mean, as far as like list goes, we don't really share lists, and it's always kind of figure it out kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like those things are like a setup all year long. Like you go out shopping like in the summer, like I want this, I like this. This. So those are memory checks. So you gotta like remember that, because those are they're testing you. In a sense.
I think I'm good at that.
But so like, all right, so me and Lauren were like 6 years in a relationship, like going on 7 years in. When I met Lauren, she was very like simple, like didn't have like she was very just simple and basic. Like it sounds like cheaty for me to say, but like she really didn't have like much jewelry or whatever. So the first few years, it was easy for me to like buy her a dope ass watch.
Yeah,
I can get her like a necklace and like,
get all the accessories.
Yes, exactly. Like stuff that she never had. She never had real diamond earrings, so I bought her some studs, whatever. So like now we're like I said, now we're like 7 years, 7.5 years in, and now I'm running out of ideas. I'm like, I can't just buy her another Apple Watch. I bought her one 2 years ago. Like, I can't like buy her some more earrings. Like now I'm like running. I bought her like a high end purse. Like I can't do that again. Like dude, like now I'm at the point where I'm like, holy smokes, what do I like do? And it's like this past year, like I said, she's very like simple. So she doesn't really say I want this, I want that. So she'll just go to any like. She'll go to Target and find like an amazing outfit, but then she'll go to Macy's too and then find like an amazing outfit. So like her range is like all over the place, and it's like, but it's my job to figure it out, like. So it's like tough. It's hard to try to like map it out, but like I'm not gonna lie, this Christmas year was one of my hardest ones to like figure out a gift for her.
Sure.
Like, so.
And it only gets harder.
Yeah, and hold on, and I just said 7 years, and it's like we're only 1 year married, so it's like holy shit, 6.5 years, so almost 7 years together, but like 1 year married, I'm like,
yeah. Try what, Jim? What do we got? 14 or 14?
Yeah, man.
Sheesh.
I got lucky though with to that point of the simplicity. Kel is just very simple. You guys know her. There's not much jewelry on and you know, whatever. And sort of the same thing. Maybe there's one or two. We're comfortable enough with each other to say, like, yeah, I'm not gonna wear that, so let's just return it, whatever. Like, you're not gonna hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I used to get hurt at that, and now like to the point I'm like, she's being honest. She knows she isn't gonna wear it, and she's. But then in her head, she's like, who in the hell do you think that I am that you think that I'm going to wear it?
So the other thing too, it's like, or I could have gotten. It was like maybe what she wanted, but. Maybe like not the color, let's just say. Right. I'm also like, I'm not way off. You know what I'm saying? Like after a while, it's like, all right, I'm in the range. It's like sort of like, let's just change the color, blah, blah, blah. I think I know my wife enough to, you know, somewhat pretty much fall into that range. And then the same thing, the other thing is just like, I'm not going to get butthurt because I want you to get what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why am I going to get mad? And listen, my intentions were good. So it's like, I'm not going to get butthurt because if I'm only butthurt it's because I probably rushed it and didn't even care to hear what you were trying to say to me and I wasn't listening. Then I bought you whatever and now you don't like it and now I'm mad. Right? That's just not how I operate. And I'm like, no, let's return it. I want you to get what you want because then you're going to put it to use.
Exactly.
What's the point of you not saying anything to me and then it just sits in the closet?
Or catering to your feelings because...
Yeah.
Right, and then...
I'm never going to use it.
You're not going to hurt my feelings.
I have to act like I'm happy about it.
So like... What advantage that me and Heck have over Jim is that we have female, we have daughters, we have female like in the house. They interact with the wives.
Assist,
So it's like
little alley oops.
Yeah. So like,
Oh, absolutely.
And so I'll hit Ava. I'm like, yo, what should I get? And Ava's like, oh, she likes this. Kind of gives me like it'll help me out in a sense. You know what I mean? Like,
the girl view.
Yes. Yeah. The female version. That's what I want.
My daughter all week long. Me and my daughter. She's a senior in high school, and I'm like, aren't you in class? Why are you texting me? She's like, we're going back and forth. I'm at work, and she's in class, and we're texting back and forth. I'm like.
Neither one of y'all should be.
Neither one of us should be doing this right now. But what is going on here? We're like feeding each other with like what to get, mommy, or just going back and forth. And I'm like, what in the heck? Like I'm thinking about this. I'm like, she's really in school. I'm really at work. Like back in the day, this is never happening. Like you just it didn't happen. I'm just like amazed on how things are nowadays. How lax to say things are.
Dude, even like that, like with our family thing, I tell Lauren, I'm like, yo. You get all the female stuff. You make all the Christmas purchases and that, and I get all the boy stuff. Like I love buying stuff for the guys, for the boys, and then you can do all the girl stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So obviously, there's we're talking very superficial things here, right? There's obviously the true meaning of the holidays, and more importantly, giving back. And so there's the real aspect of what we're celebrating and the recognition of that, and then obviously giving back, right? And so there's plenty of people out there that we can help, and it's really one of those things where Goose or the guys here know I'm very private about those things. I don't really like promote these types of things, but it's more of a reminder to everyone listening. The true meaning of the holiday season, remember that, and at minimum, just be around your loved ones. It's a time of forgiving. It's a time of thankfulness, and just being just grateful for what we have. Because I think our friends and family, what we have is very special. And I do think it's a time to reflect. It was like, dang, we truly are so blessed, and that's. The passion I have, for my own kids is the same. It's a similar passion that I have for, giving back to the community, which is what I was just on I was in Florida. I was in Jacksonville, Florida, but also helping out a friend of ours, friend of the show, actually, Scott DeVore, who was just on an episode or two before this, so episode 319. I was helping him out, and the level of like just giving back and just giving him insight on just the stuff that I knew, right? I'm like, that's what this is what that's about. You know what I mean? This is what it's all about, like helping a friend or maybe, you know, a not so fortunate person and giving a lending hand. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be monetary. It doesn't have to, not even necessarily have to be food. It could just be there, just you being there, just a hug, just a conversation, an ear, a shoulder, whatever. But if you can, I think we all can, even if it's a smile, you can give back. Yeah. You know, at the registers, a lot of these places, there's a roundup deal. Do that, right? You know, it's like it's certain things are so small and so little. It doesn't have to be super significant. And you're cutting a check for $100,000, right? Yeah. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about like the little things, and just remember how blessed you are while you're around your family and opening gifts, and how fortunate you are. Remember, there's some people or somebody out there that doesn't have any of that. So really, that's the gift. And then just, if you can, give back. And I think we all can, like I said, even if it's just a smile or a hug or a conversation, an ear or a shoulder. Go ahead, Goose.
Yeah, no, so reflecting on that, us growing up, like, we thought we had everything in the world, right? We didn't know any better. And our parents struggled, and they worked their tails off to give us what we had, like, to give us what we wanted. So, like, same thing like Jim. I don't really like boast or like. I always like donate to all kinds of like, especially around this time of year. Donate to all kinds of functions. There's a lot of like whatever. So there's a lot of like fundraisers that goes on. Yeah. But so this year, one of my employees, Angelo. Shout out to Angelo, amazing guy.
Shout out to Angelo. Angelo been on our show. Check him out.
Yeah, he's been on our show actually a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
So. This year he took it upon himself to do this thing called Secret Santa, and he rented out a firehouse on his own, kind of did some fundraising to get a couple dollars, had a Santa Claus come out, had like a bunch of toys and stuff set up, and invited a bunch of like less fortunate families, like their parents are recovering. Their parents are less fortunate. He extended the invite to a bunch of people, and it just happened this past weekend. And I brought my wife, my daughter there, so we can just kind of enjoy and see what was going on. Yo, he set this up. Had amazing food he got some food from local from Loretta's local restaurant here in town.
Yeah, they
helped sponsor it, and. Yo, to see these kids, like families that don't really have anything. Parents are like just single mothers, single fathers, like a lot of like. So to see these little kids' face, they're like Santa came. Obviously, he had a Santa that was like freaking like 6'10", like jacked with muscles. But like, yo, they don't know. They don't know that. Yo, they don't know the difference, and they sat on his lap, and they were like, they were giving him these kids gifts, and they were like opening them up with like such joy. Like there was like, I don't know, I can't explain it. Yeah. But like to see that from like the outside looking in, like I'm like, as bad as I thought we had it, like, dude, we don't really have it that bad. And we didn't have much, but there's always someone that has it worse. Yeah. No matter how bad you think you got it, and you could be down on the dirt, dude, there's still someone way, way worse than that. Like, so you can't sit there and prowl like, oh, I don't. Like, just feel sorry for yourself. There's other people that. So, but there are like organizations, there are like people like Angelo. They want to help. Yeah. You know, and like, dude, I'm so proud of Angelo. Like, he set this whole thing up on his own. Like, he like didn't ask the barbershop for anything. I actually was like, I'm like, yo, I want to help you. Like, I jumped on board. He was like, not that he was embarrassed to ask. He was just like, I just want to kind of like do this on my own thing. I don't want to have like any association with the barbershop and like have it like. Make it seem like the shop did it. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I'll help you out, whatever you need. I did what I could do. Heck, your buddy Curtis, we call him Cousin Kurt. He was a huge factor. He helped out too. Kind of helped out with the financial part. That's what he does for a living. So he kind of helped with the funding. He promoted like the GoFundMe pages. He did like that whole. He took care of that end, and then Angelo, he's in a couple organizations. He had like a bunch of females that went shopping and bought all the presents and did all the wrapping and stuff like that. And then, like in the barbershop, we know a lot of people. We know people that have they're fortunate. They have a lot of money. They have so they were donating like left and right. So putting this is our first, like, I can't say ours. This is Angelo's first event that he's done by himself. And I think this is going to be a huge thing in years to come.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first thing, and it was like a success.
Just the first inaugural one that's going to be.
Yes.
Keep
And there was like,
going.
dude, there was like 30 to 50 kids around that. And I think next year will be like 75 to 100. I think it's going to keep going. It's going to be this huge thing.
Especially when your heart's in it for the right reasons.
Yes.
It'll just get bigger from there.
Yes, exactly. And that's what it is. And, like, Angelo's a single guy, and he has, like, I'm not saying he has time with it, but he has a passion for, like, family. Because that's where he comes from. He comes from, like, a household of, like that Italian love, you know, like we all had like that, like, family love. You like care for. Yeah. He's an only child, so he didn't have like that, like, brotherly love. Like,
yeah, sure.
But he, like, his cousins, his uncles, they're everything to him. So, like, to have like his nieces and stuff, that's everything to him. So for him to be like in a situation where he knows there's families that kids need help, he wants to help them out because, like, there's it's huge. So, like, huge shout out to Angelo, and, like, I'm so proud of everything he does that he's been doing the past few years. The barbershop's helped, the whole town of Bristol Borough has helped out. Like I said, and Ange's been on the show like multiple times, and for me, I'm like, he's a buddy of mine, but I'm like a proud dad. Like, he didn't ask me for nothing. He did it on his own. I came across the conversation like, bro, I'll help you out. Like, let me know. Yeah. And I think he just wanted to do, like, that was his big boy step.
Yeah.
Put his big boy pants on. Like, I want to do this on my own. I know I got help. I just want to do this right now. Sure. Yeah. If I fall back, I know you guys are gonna help me out. So that was like, I'm super proud of him, and, like, and that was a super success this past weekend.
Yeah,
that's dope.
And, dude, honestly, it was like this weekend. There was like the World Cup was on. The Eagles were on, dude, and there's like so much stuff that people could have been like, nah, I'm not going there. Dude, there's like so many people there supporting him.
Yeah.
Showing up,
So, this past weekend, kind of same thing. My oldest daughter, she's a senior at high school, and the school had like this donation thing where they had people donate toys and clothing, but everything had to be new. It wasn't like used or anything. Everything had to be like new toys, new clothing, a food bank. And she volunteered to help out, and she saw like people coming in. She's like, she said at one moment she was holding this baby and was crying because the mom was just there gathering stuff for her and her child, and she's looking at them. Mind you, she's 17 years old, and she's getting emotional about this. That there's people out there that don't have anything. And then there's other kids out there that are just like completely, like, have everything and don't even care or don't even know that they have everything.
Or complaining what they didn't
get. Yeah. So when she came back, I was actually like, wow, she actually understands this. Like, she gets it. Like, she knows that there are people out there that are in need, and she spent her entire day there on Saturday at her school, to the point where they had so much toys that they found they had to find a Toys for Tots donation to drop off the remaining toys. There was like a carload full of toys for extra stuff that they had to donate. So they made sure that there was people leaving. I was like getting towards the end of the day. There was people leaving with like just a box of food. Bella was just throwing stuff in their car, just take it. Like, oh yeah, no, just take it. Like, just to get rid of the food. Like, I'd rather see the food go to you guys. Like, seeing their situation and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's community.
And she said, and it hurt her to see, because the parents or the mother or the father was basically Christmas shopping for their child, and their child is there with them as they're picking out these gifts for the kids. So they had to, they had the gifts like in age group or categorized or whatever.
Right.
So she felt bad that the kids are sitting there, that like this is how their parents are Christmas shopping for their children. Yeah. So it's like she felt it.
That was so like that's a great point with to just mention community, and that's, I mean, these are things that, not just the holiday season. We got to look for opportunities throughout the entire year. Because these things are beyond a day or two. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's fantastic to see communities come together to do that. I know Bristol does a lot of this stuff. Levittown does a lot of these things. It's just amazing that what we can do together when we truly find the mission or find a reason to help and assist. It's actually it's a very beautiful thing when it all works out that way. All right, excellent show, boys. All right, so to close things out, we'd like to wrap it up with quotes, and the first one is by Calvin Coolidge. Christmas is not a time nor a season, but a state of mind. To cherish peace and goodwill, to be plenteous in mercy, is to have the real spirit of Christmas. And the second one by Brad Goreski. I love everything about the holidays, the decorations, the parties, and spending time with friends and family. What I love the most is that feeling of giving back. Every bit counts. Holiday season 2022. In this episode, the crew talks about holiday experiences. We cover topics that range from holiday traditions, the Christmas spirit, family time, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Calvin Coolidge and Brad Goreski. Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.